Welcome to Sunshine Valley, where everyone comes to die. It's kind of like Florida, but I can say that because I'm from there. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to some City Skylines. In the previous episode, we worked on finishing up our elementary school, which I think came together quite nicely. It's a bit smaller than our high school, but that's usually what elementary schools are. Unfortunately, it does look as if some of the fences didn't save. I don't know if that's an asset issue or if I actually just forgot to save. Not really sure. But you can see here that we got the parks across the way from the elementary school, as well as adequate parking for all the teachers and staff, and maybe some parents who are volunteering or whatever may happen. I don't even know what happens at elementary schools anymore or who's involved. Across the way is the solar farm, which is kind of unfortunate, and directly behind it is going to be a residential district, which doesn't have any residents in it quite yet. And then just down the road over here is our baseball fields for the high school, as well as the other buildings involved in the high school. And we'll kind of pan across here where there's the park and kind of courtyard area, and then just kind of get a big shot of the whole area here. Whoop, let's go back to there so you can see what I was looking at. So right here is kind of the whole school area and new residential area. So we're going to have the elementary school just up the way here and the high school, which takes up quite a large space, but I mean, it's a high school. They usually have a couple hundred students involved in it, as opposed to the elementary school. Middle school, I'm not quite sure where I want to put it yet. I was thinking right next to the high school with kind of a barrier in between, right over here in this little bit, but I might decide to delete one of these roads and put it a little set back, because I think we're going to create a lot of traffic once people start going to these schools, and I don't want to do that initially, as well as there's going to be residential traffic. One thing I do want to do, though, if we hop in the game here, you can notice that we're having some more industrial demand, which is great, but we're still having the issue with not enough raw materials. So the way I'm going to adjust that is I'm not going to add more farming just yet. As much as I like farming in the city, it creates so much trash and a lot of problems with that. So I want to create kind of an industrial shipyard type of thing. Now, we have talked about it in previous episodes that we're going to be working on the shipyard way out here. And this will be a large scale operation. This is going to be, involving a lot of ships and things like that. But what I want to have kind of set off in the city is a storage area, kind of where these trains are. There's going to be a lot of storage. So we have the props and assets for that. And I want to create kind of a concrete jungle, mind you, as well as maybe connect some additional train routes to this to help speed up this process, because it does look like we're getting a lot more traffic in here now, which we didn't have in the past. But I still don't really know what's wrong with these raw material things, and I don't know, maybe it's just the way that routes are set up or something, because they don't operate when they don't have enough raw materials, which is an issue. The only thing that I know of, just from reading these tooltips, is that it says make sure trucks can reach this, which trucks can, but I think just because of the way that paths are set up, it's very hard and inefficient for the trucks to get to them and deliver resources. So hopefully it will kind of sort itself out. So what I want to start by doing is just kind of working over here in this area and cleaning it up a bit. We did never finish this railroad section here or fix these roads from when we had our great sewage issue, which I don't really want to talk about. So let's just get on cleaning up this area and converting it into something a little more reasonable. So what we'll do first off is go into this water. Oh, not that. Go into here. Should be able to put one of these walls up. These walls. Here we go. We connect that wall there. And now that that wall is connected, we can actually lower these roads and kind of get rid of these electrical lines to clean it up. The question I have, though, is how are we going to handle this train situation? So remember, over here, we spent an episode so that this train can connect to both these routes, and we had to do it all underground. I kind of think we're going to have to do the same thing here to get this connected. And yeah, that's probably the only way to get it working. It looks like there's also a bit of traffic here, which is expected because it does create a lot of traffic, but I was kind of hoping that cars wouldn't just be going straight through like that garbage truck was. So we'll have to see on that one if there's something we can do to adjust that. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to pause the game so we're not creating too many issues with like this floating train here. And we're going to delete this all the way back to there. And just like we did before, we're going to go in transportation and all the way over to trains, get the train track, and we will adjust the height of it. So we'll hit page down there and go probably about here. And once we're underground, we're going to go like this and curve to probably about there. And then go straight and hopefully, nope. Let's go back to the info. So now we should be able to connect it up like that. Perfect. And then what we want to do is go back to this, back into the railroad section here, because we also want to curve one like this to possibly around here. And maybe go page up, or no, let's go like that, and then we'll just connect a straight one there. And I wonder, let's open that one more time. Can I make a little kind of jump track from there to there? This should be, okay, maybe that's why. No, okay, well, that should be efficient enough to kind of help with the issues. And then we're gonna delete this road and this road here. Let's pause so that we don't get cars repathing. And we're going to go to the 3-lane highway and just connect that to that. And that to that. And this whole area is sorted out, and that was a quick, simple fix to unlike the other one that I was trying to do over there, which took forever. So the first thing I want to do over in this large area is lay down some concrete. So the concrete jungle idea is literally the concrete jungle. So we're going to make a giant, okay, not that big, kind of like this big, connect concrete to that. Now, when I said concrete jungle, I don't think a lot of you were thinking that this is what I was doing, but yep, this is what I'm doing. So we're just going to connect the concrete right up to the borders of the roads here. I think it will help it look a little more finished and rounded off. And actually, I did not want to connect it under there. So we'll have to come closer to the, closer to these corners. And we're going to go over here like this. I'm going to delete a little bit of this because I kind of want to keep that hill. I think it adds a nice little touch to it. Now we will want a road somewhere in here, but it's just going to be a small kind of priority access road. It's not going to be a major road. It's going to be kind of like, I think for services and storage and things like that, because it's not a like, I don't know, we're not going to put any buildings on it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Maybe we'll put some storage or something like that. But see, so this already has some predefined lots, which is great. I don't know how to place them on a roadside. See, so they just need roadside. So that's what I'm going to do. So we'll plan all this out with roads first. And then once we have the roads in place, then we'll be able to kind of connect it all together. So in order to have trucks going and things like that, I'm just going to do a 6-lane road. Now there's a lot of traffic here. You can see that there's a ton of traffic constantly from this train station. So I don't really want to connect it right there, nor do I want to connect it to this big road because, well, it's our main road out. So what I'm going to do is make a small kind of offshoot connection straight back. So we'll go like this first. There we go. That's parallel. So delete that. And then we have this road. I'm going to bring this road as close as I possibly can to the freeway. And then same thing with this. It's going to go like to here probably. Now, we want to maximize space, but you also have to remember that some of this is storage. So they aren't really going to matter. But I want to put these big lots in there, so that will kind of be helpful. And then this is going to go all the way to here. And then if we go back into this terrain area part, now where did I see those? So I was going to just build some manually, but then I saw these assets and I kind of liked them. You know, the real question was, where did I see them? Oh, I believe it was with the, here we go, transportation. So we have these big lots here, which are great. I don't know what they count as or anything like that. If they count towards industry or park-wise. It looks like they count as leisure, actually, so that's something. So one thing I was noticing as I was placing down some more props is that this road actually prevents trains from going immediately. So I'm going to delete part of that road, and then we'll probably put a buffer here, something like a wall or maybe even a flood wall, just because it looks cool, but it also kind of creates a barrier. So let's actually give that a try while I'm thinking about it. So we're going to go to these tools here, go into the water tools, and let's just kind of drag this flood wall straight back. Let's see what that looks like. So that adds something, but then as I start to think about it, I want the whole premise of this to be connected. So we will leave this. All right, so I went and got a little detailed with this section. Added a lot of props and even like a fence that kind of shows that this area is, you know, oh, we just park equipment and other stuff here. Again, adding these little things, and even though they take up a little bit of time, I think really help to create this city, to create a different look for this city. Now, these assets don't cost any money, however, these buildings that I have are. So you can see that these industrial warehouses and things do have an upkeep to them. So very quickly, as we're looking at finishing this section, we're going to do a little cinematic shot and see kind of what we created in, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes time. It's not perfect, and I will go back through and add little details here and there, but I think it did come together quite well. There's a lot of problems going on in the city right now. I'm ignoring that death wave. Death is always watching, and it's always a problem here. Welcome to Sunshine Valley, where everyone comes to die, because that's just how my city works, apparently. So looking at the new industrial area from a distance here, you can kind of see, oh, looks like the game was saving. You can kind of see how it all comes together. Now, as I said before, it isn't really finished, but we are creating a new environment and something that just adds a better feeling to this city, on where most of our goods are being stored and shipped, and it creates more life to the city. Even though there's death going rampant in the distance, you can see this giant industrial sector that really just comes together as a whole. So trucks can enter and store their goods, and they go over here if they want to ship them out, and hopefully I'll be able to add another train yard maybe to this side. I think that would be kind of cool as well, in getting that set up. But this whole kind of area here, if I hide these points, this whole kind of area here is just something small. Like I said, we're going to be doing a massive scale shipyard, which will look kind of similar, but I think it's going to have some other assets that will help to differentiate it from what we have going on here. Now, we do still have issues of fire over in this area, which looks like the fire department's on that. Looks like that's done reaping havoc on my city, other than over here. That could just be a small little thing that happened or not. I'm not really sure. We do only have $6,000, but again, we are still making money, so as long as we're in the green, we're good to go. But, you know, not ideal to only have $6,000. Unfortunately, I am going to cut this episode here. It is a shorter episode this week just due to some time constraints in my personal life. But hopefully the next week's episode will be a bit longer and we'll have a bit more detailing going on with this industrial sector. I will add some minor details here and there, maybe fill in some of these spaces because there are still some empty spaces here. And if I do, I'll add that into next week's episode, probably in the intro, so you can see exactly what I did. traffic is becoming a bigger issue in this area, as well as the raw material resources. So I think in the next episode, it will definitely be worth looking towards redoing our industrial sector to maybe get rid of farming and just create industry. Other than that, if you liked the video, please leave a like or comment down below. If you have any suggestions for mods, please leave them in the description, in the comments below. And all the assets that I use are linked in the description. And other than that, see you next time.